All right, we are finally back. We had a bit of a delay. It has been a wild time in our personal lives, but it's okay because we're back and we're ready to bring you some sweet, delicious content here at the Nut Bar. Just because it's been a while and we thought we would try this one more time, we're going to introduce ourselves down the line. So I think that starts with my blue man group to my left.
In my blue little house in a blue Corvette. Hey, my name's Juan. I go by Tex-Mex. Well, we like shows here. We like watching shows here.
I think he's the only one that actually uses his fake gamer name, and maybe we should all do that, but I think the rest of us are too embarrassed.
What do you mean fake gamer name?
So
imagine having a fake gamer name.
I'm Chris. Yeah, that's it.
I do mine on purpose. Well,
I know.
That'll be later.
Hi, I'm Logan. I'm the one drinking the root beer.
Hi, I'm Tim. My gamer name is also Tim.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy when it's like that. Anyway, we're the Nut Bar. We're a seasonal anime podcast. Today we are coming at you with a preview for the new summer season, which is starting in a few weeks. We got all the trailers, some of the manga that are manga adaptations. We have done the research, and now we have some opinions, and we are going to let you all know what these are all about and which ones we think are maybe worth checking out.
Before we start, Chris, did you want to talk about the panel a little bit?
Yeah, so we had at A-kon in Dallas this year, we had our second actually panel, which is kind of what inspired us doing this podcast to some extent. When we did the first one last year, we did an award show. I don't know if anyone actually watched, but we had an episode a couple months ago after the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. The Crunchyroll Anime Awards inspired us to make our own award show where the audience at the panel got to vote on all their favorite anime of 2022. I think it went really well. We had a great showing. The audience got to vote on everything, and I believe what was the winner? It was Kaguya, right?
Yeah, Kaguya season 3.
Ultra Romantic season 3 was the winner. And yeah, if anyone is, we shilled our podcast at the recording or at the actual panel. So if anyone is listening that was there, drop a comment. It would be very cool and boost our egos extremely. So
we got a lot of sequels this season.
We're gonna start with the sequels. We have plenty. This season is very, very heavy with all kinds of sequels, including some really anticipated ones. So let's get started with that. We're going to go through all the sequels up front instead of dispersing them. So the visual on the chart is not going to be up to date for this section. Just bear with us. We'll tell you what they are. So Tim, get us started.
All right. Starting off, we have Bleach Second Core. This is part 2 of the Bleach that aired, I think, last fall.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is what most people consider to be like the worst part of Bleach, and I kind of agree, but like they've been like killing the adaptation and it's been really enjoyable, so you know what, forward to it.
If the worst part is also the best produced, that's a fun trade-off, you know.
Exactly.
All right, next
we have Bungou literally has aired like last season.
Is this like season 4 part 2
basically?
Okay. Yeah.
So it literally just up in halfway through the story, and now they're going to finish the rest of it. So it's not much to say.
Cool.
That was a part timer. Season 2 of season 2.
Which
it really should just be called season 3, but
no, it's the second core. It's all part of
no. It is called season 2.
It's
So that was a part timer with 2 exclamation points because it's the second season, and then it's season 2 of the 2 exclamation point.
Okay, got it.
That's the official name of it. It is
really
incredibly dumb. Japan has no idea to name stuff. Even after 10 years, they cannot count to 3. I guess I don't know.
Really bad at naming sequels.
Regardless, OG double part timer aired like 10 years ago. It was great, very charming. Season 2, kind of lost everything that made it so charming. So it was pretty mediocre. I think everyone agrees it wasn't super well received, and now we get season 2 of that, so we'll see if it comes back.
All right.
Next we have Horimiya. I guess Cloverwork realized they fucked up when they adapted Horimiya last 2 years ago. So The first Horimiya was incredibly fast paced. They skipped over a shit ton of stuff, and now they're gonna say, "Oopsie." Now we're gonna go back and adapt all the stuff that we forgot to adapt.
I don't think I've ever seen a show do this before. It's very weird.
Well, it's kind of similar to the Osama ranking.
No,
season 2 that's happening
Osama
right
ranking. Osama ranking is explicitly going back and telling like side stories.
No, it
some
has
that are
sequel content
flashbacks.
too, actually.
And yeah, it has some
Oh,
sequels.
it does. Interesting.
Horimiya
Have you guys
or-
not finished with Samba?
Oh, are you talking about Osama or Horimiya right
That's
now?
what I'm saying. No,
Osama.
Horimiya is literally just them adapting the chapters that they skipped, and they skipped like half the manga. So there's plenty for them to go do. It's crazy.
You say that you've never seen it before, which is kind of funny because Quintuplet literally did the exact same thing
I didn't
like a
know
month
that.
later.
That's
So
really
Quintuplet
funny.
has a new thing coming out, which is also adapting unadapted material.
It's
from
kind of
the
like the
manga.
opposite of like Naruto shonen filler, where like they had to pad out, so they added fake stuff. Instead, they were going so fast that they had to cut stuff. Maybe they'll do this with Promised Neverland too. They won't.
Will
No
not.
one's
They
touching Promised
can't.
Neverland.
Anyway, so I'm tentatively interested because I mean, maybe they can just recut it all together and make like a 16 to, or like if this is a full, or just like a 2-core full version, like it like Haruhi, make the correct chronological order or whatever, and then watch Horimiya in one go. I don't know. It's weird. I'm probably still gonna watch it anyway.
Oh, I'm definitely watching this.
Because I really didn't like how the adaptation of Horimiya was.
It's only
originally.
one core, so there's only so much more.
It should have been like 2 core to begin with.
Probably. Anyway,
Was Horimiya one core?
It was
Yeah.
only 1 core.
it
was only
like
12
Oh,
episodes.
was it really?
Yeah, that's why it was so rushed.
and it was done. Anyway, we spent a lot of time on this. We'll see how it goes. We'll check back in on the mid-season.
Yeah.
Next up is probably the biggest one, the single biggest
Hey.
anime this season.
Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen season 2, baby.
The wait is over.
I read the manga soon after season 1 finished, so I know what's gonna happen. And if it covers the entire Shibuya incident, this season will be anime of the year for me, like 100%.
Damn.
It will cover the entire Shibuya incident.
And that's good.
Spicy.
Fucking be ready. Holy
It's-
shit.
Gonna be backstory and then Shibuya arc.
Yeah, it's gonna be like backstory for like 3-4 episodes, and then Shibuya. Like the rest of the season will be Shibuya incident.
I'm quite excited just because I think it's going to pick back up after Zero. You know, the movie with the main character of that is being reintroduced into the cast, which I think is
Chris?
really exciting. Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No, really?
He doesn't show up. He doesn't show up until after the Shibuya incident.
Whatever.
Wow.
Okay,
So
well,
that's why I was surprised. Yeah, spoilers. Sorry.
I was gonna say everyone. That's not just me finding out in real time right now. That's okay. I still think it'll be good, but
That's why I'm so surprised that they adapted Zero so early.
I think it's fine. It was a good way to pad in between the seasons and like give fans something to go, and it was great. So
Yeah.
I'm of course extremely excited. JJK is probably like the best, I would say, quote unquote proper shonen, just because I don't really count Chainsaw Man as like it's a little too weird and subversive to be considered like a proper shonen. I think JJK has been the best like new age, like big popular shonen in a long time, and
agree.
I'm very excited to
Now,
get more of it.
So Sunwon Park is being replaced.
Yes, new
or he's not,
director.
or he's not working on it at least. He's
Yeah.
not necessarily being replaced. So I hope we still get some good action, because like he really makes that show. Like,
I mean,
the
he
fight
didn't.
scenes.
I don't think he did the movie, and it was great. So
Did he not?
No, I don't think he did. I think he
Oh,
had
shit,
left
He
it up at
did,
that point.
didn't he?
I could have sworn he did.
I might have to fact check that. I don't have it up in front of me. Anyway,
Hold on. Let me fact check that. We can move on in the meantime,
Yeah.
I guess.
well,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're doing it. Is the
Yeah.
problem?
Well, I can do it for.
Yeah, start us off. Start us off. No, he did. He did direct it. I'm just smoking.
Yeah, okay, that's
penis.
Okay.
So, Link Click Season 2, baby.
Yeah.
So this is a show that came out, again, I think 2 years ago.
Yes, 2021.
I, like, everyone else in this group kind of, like, passed by it, and I made
Yeah,
them all
we missed it
eventually go
because
back.
it was Chinese and didn't get very much press in like among American anime fans initially. And then a bunch of people like Giga were really like pushing it after that.
And I was pushing it.
Yeah, you pushed it pretty soon after.
But we didn't have a podcast then.
So, Link Click, it does like the writing really well. It has like very strong emotional episodic storytelling, while also having a really riveting kind of like overarching like mystery story that kind of like connects all these episodic stories together.
Yeah.
And they did a really great job at wrapping up and then leaving us on a giant cliffhanger.
Yeah,
So
season
it's,
one ended
Jesus
on a huge cliffhanger.
I forgot about that
it is.
cliffhanger. Shit.
So we're
Highly-
very excited to see how it
Highly
starts back up.
anticipated sequel. So
Yeah.
This is easily the best anime out of China. I would highly recommend everyone go back and watch season 1 if they haven't. If you like thriller mysteries, I think and
it's
like
a
time travel
mystery.
mechanics.
Yeah, mystery time travel is the best way to describe the show.
out of
It
the
is
one
really neat.
Chinese anime Chris has watched, this is easily his favorite.
That's right.
One for
Okay.
one, baby.
Anyway,
Right.
next up is Slop for the pigs.
Oh man, Rent a Girlfriend season 3. I am straight up hate watching this show. The only reason why I'm watching season 3 is because Tim begged us to watch it, and I'm like,
I did not
fine.
beg you to watch it.
I was remember that you guys were all like, and Mark included, was like, "Damn, this show fucking sucks." After season 2, and I was like, "Are y'all gonna watch season 3?" And then you're all like, "Yeah, I guess."
All I said was season 3 adapts the best arc in the entire series.
And Mark
And
and,
then
I
they
were
were
like, I
like,
guess we'll watch
Sure,
it.
we'll watch one more.
Okay,
Me and Mark were so ready to drop it after season 2. When you said that, we're like, fine, we'll watch one more season.
maybe it'll be better. Haha. I
I'm
don't care.
excited for Mark to come into my DMs to complain again.
Did he
He
do
went to
that?
yours?
Wow.
That's really funny.
Wow.
That's
All right. Anyway, you if you're watching that show, you know what it's like. Next up is Masamune-kun.
Masamune-kun came out of left field because the season 1 came out like
long time
seven
ago. Yeah.
years ago, something like that, ages ago, and it was pretty like mediocre, kind of like your like Nisekoi ripoff, like tsundere main girl, and you have like a love polygon with the main guy. He's kind of like clueless, going on. So I was really surprised this actually got a sequel.
Me too.
I believe this will adapt the rest of it, just because I think there's only 50 chapters, I want to say.
Oh, so
in
this,
the
will
original?
potentially be the final season?
It should be. I have to double check. Did
This
it
is
not
season
finish?
3, right?
This is season 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could have sworn
There
we
was
got a
never-
season 2.
No,
Huh.
this is the only other one.
Wow.
Anyway, I guess if you were a fan of the original, then congratulations. I wish my niche shows that I like got season 2s, like Hoseki. Anyway, next up is the other, probably the second biggest behind JJK.
Yeah, Mushoku Tensei, the granddaddy of all isekais, and this one is actually good. It's like one of the few good isekais, but I guess it's because it invented the genre. This will be season 2, not part 2, like the last one was. Continues the story. Unfortunately, we like Jujutsu Kaisen. The original director has left and is doing other projects. So hopefully it still keeps that quality, but from the trailers, it looks like we're good. It's still the same studio regardless.
Yeah, it's still Nut. Bind?
No,
No,
Studio Bind.
Bind, not Nut.
Bind.
I can't
Definitely
remember whose
Bind.
studio Not Dead.
They
Can't
did
remember.
Decadence, I think. And
That's what it
I knew it
was.
was a one-syllable one. Yeah, that'll be exciting. Next up
It's
is
fun.
the second season of Shinigami Bocchan.
Mark is a
Um,
huge fan of the show.
A lot of
Mark
people
will
are.
love
It's
this.
kind of like a little
This is-
secret indie hit.
It's a very like cutesy romance kind of show, which seems to be like the trend these days between like high school girl and like Danger in Your Heart kind of thing.
Except it's a maid and a rich boy.
Yeah.
A depressed
Yeah.
rich boy.
I've heard this one is a lot more wholesome than it seems at first blush.
I remember I dropped it after episode 2.
It was
Yeah.
pretty wholesome from the get go. I think it was probably a little too slow for one, and like not much was happening.
Not necessarily slow. I think it is just like the girl herself. Like I don't know. I just had mixed feelings about it.
It's fun. There's still a lot of questions about like Alice's mother and all that kind of stuff on top of the romance that kind of keeps you interested.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I'll keep up with it. The same studio and the same kind of weird like CGI kind of thing. So disclaimer. Next we have Spy Classroom.
Cannot believe this got
Season 2.
an immediate season 2. Absolutely bonkers.
That just means they believe, they knew, from
Yeah.
the get go. They were like, this is gonna pop off.
Did
And to be
it?
fair, it is fun. It is bad, but it's dumb and stupid in a fun way. So I'm gonna watch it with the group and probably have some alcohol on the side, just to make it a little more fun. And Sugar Apple Fairy Tale is the last of the sequel, I believe. And that show, I question why it got a sequel.
Me too.
Shoujo shows are pretty like rare on their own. So the fact that this show got a sequel.
This is a children's show?
Shoujo.
Huh?
Shoujo. Okay.
Got a sequel. Even got Greenlit and a sequel on top of that is kind of like bewildering because like all the characters in there are infuriating. Especially Jonas. Jonas needs to die. Jonas is like, did we do Worst Boy last year?
Yeah, he win your worst boy? I think he did.
Yes, if we had Worst Boy, he definitely won Worst Boy because he was a utterly useless character.
I could have sworn, I don't know why I was under the impression that Sugar Apple Fairy Tale was a horror.
I think you might be thinking of
Sugar, the Hanakana one.
Yeah,
Happy
that's
Sugar
what
Life.
I'm thinking
the
of.
lolly girl and the other crazy killer one.
Hanakana becomes a psychopathic lolly kidnapper person.
That's
anyway,
what I'm confusing it
this
with.
one is like this one was the weird like fantasy shoujo but with slavery in it.
Yes, the fairies are slaves.
Are you gonna watch this, Tim? Even though you hated season 1?
Probably.
Damn. All right. That is it for the sequel Power Hour. I know there's a couple others that we missed. If we didn't talk about them, it's probably because none of us are interested in it or they're pretty like minor shows.
What did we miss?
I don't know. There's like a Bang Dream and there's a couple others. I don't care.
Bang Dream's it's a original spinoff, so that should be talked about.
Okay, we can go through it then. All right, first up on the real anime, these are all new shows, or at least non-sequels. Logan, get us started.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for those of you who don't know, every season I go through and I read at least the first chapter, usually 2 or 3 of every manga that's coming out, just to try and get a sense of what they are. And so this one is AI no Idenshi. This one is a kind of unique premise. It's like a human doctor solving robot health crises, and questions about the nature of consciousness arise from there. I'm a little concerned this might be a bit one note. Like they got, if you replace yourself with a backup, is the backup still you out of the way in chapter 1? And I don't know how much more this premise has in it. But that said, chapter 2 came up with something I hadn't considered. And I'm curious about what sorts of medical problems this manga has prepped for us. The emotional payoff, especially in chapter 2, did feel a little undercooked, which is kind of the curse of being, a short vignette format thing. But I'm willing to trust this author and Studio Chad House for just a bit longer. So I'm gonna recommend this, but it might kind of sink down into the swamp later on. I'm not sold on it 100%.
This one I think is going to have to ride on the premise because the trailer did not, I would say, super duper impress me production wise. It's like fine. But upon further exploration, I think this is the Madhouse B team. I do not think this is, I don't think these are any of the hitters working on this one. I think it's there's Madhouse always has a couple shows every year that are kind of like whatever. And I think that this has got that squad working on it. If it's a decent source material, and they can try. It's not like doomed by any means. I'm still probably gonna check out at least an episode.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. Like just based on a psychological thriller by Studio Madhouse, even if it is the B team. Do you think the A team worked on Level 999 Yamada?
Probably yeah.
Yeah. The director for that
show looks great. That was the
Chiafu director.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And you could see some pretty cool
that show is pretty.
Direction in the show. Not that you guys watched it, I don't think.
We did. We're not done with it, but yeah.
Is that it for the Gene of AI? That's the English name? It's pretty simple.
I think it's just gonna have to be we'll have to see it in action.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. We'll get back to you in the mid-season review.
Next up is a show called Ayaka. This one, I feel like this show should be cooler or should seem cooler than it does, but the trailer was not particularly inspiring, even if the premise seems a little bit interesting. He essentially, this kid meets one of his father's disciples who travels. They go back to his birthplace. And there's some mystical shit going on that involves fighting. It seems to be a pretty boy show with a very heavy emphasis on the character designs, except I don't like any of the character designs and don't think they look good.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a pretty boy show until just now. I'm like, oh no.
I mean, I don't know. I was trying to figure out what like the draw of this was, and I failed to find anything. And also, I think the director has worked on a bunch of like objectively terrible shows, so I was not particularly interested in this one.
At least it's anime original.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not animation. It's a mixed media project, isn't it?
oh, really? It says source original on here.
Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, the director worked on hits such as Renai Flops and Sonan Desuka and Happy Sugar Life, the show we were just talking about. So lots of great ones. Anyway, I don't know. Does anyone else have any
Kill La
thoughts?
Kill briefly.
Hey, they did Urumichi and Isan.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about that one since y'all like that one a little bit more than I did.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, the from the description and from original anime, I was maybe gonna give this a shot, but if the trailer
I don't want. I'm not gonna watch this.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was from the description alone. I was kind of tempted to watch it, but now that I know it's a Pretty Boy show, I'm like, I do not have a good track record with Pretty Boy shows.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this one seems
Hey,
like
hit one these days.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing drawing me to this one. Okay, Tim, tell us about this Bang Dream one briefly, because I thought it was a sequel.
Oh, am I talking about this one?
Well,
You're the
the one
that
who
gives a
watches
shit.
it. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think any of us care.
I didn't prepare for it.
Then we can skip it. There's a new Bang Dream. If you're into the Bang Dream franchise, go for it. I don't know what these shows are about, except that
They're
like,
idol
sing
shows, right?
Annie. Yeah, they sing Annie songs or whatever.
Do they?
They did their own songs, I believe. I'm pretty confident they have their own songs.
All right, I'm gonna skip it. Next up is who's doing this one?
Dark
It is
Gathering.
Dark
That is
Gathering.
Logan,
Logan.
yeah. Go for it.
All right. So this one had some pretty messed up pacing, to be perfectly honest. Like, here's the plot. The main character is a spirit-sensitive, recovering shut-in who takes up a job at his childhood friend's younger sister's tutor, but she's also spirit-sensitive and is only interested in hunting ghosts because one of them stole her mom's soul after a car accident that gave her spirit sensitivity and also 160 IQ, so she and her childhood friend could drag him to the side of a horrible crime and use him as bait to capture the ghost of the victim who had been killing people and trap her in a stuffed animal. Also, the childhood friend is either evil or a ghost or just really suspicious. And that all gets like shotgunned into your face in 60 pages.
Damn.
And there's also it's kind of it's like an action show. I didn't find the action all that compelling personally. I don't know. I'm not deeply invested in anything going on. I know Chris seemed a little bit higher on this from his trailer watching, and I might be willing to give it a shot. I didn't dislike it that much, but I don't think that from what I read, I can really recommend it.
Yeah,
It's
thought
a little
this was
too
neat.
manic.
I thought this was a neat trailer. I think this is one that I had seen a little bit of hype for going in. It's Studio OLM, and I thought that the production was looking pretty nice. Just based on the thing I saw, it seems like they're going pretty hard onto the spooky kind of horror-esque like vibe. And so I think just based on the original visual design, like the monster designs were looking pretty cool. I was down to give this a shot. I think that there is enough like it's not a fucking like, you know, it doesn't check any of the standard boxes of like typical anime releases, which is I'm as I'm doing especially this podcast and like reviewing a bunch of these over and over again, I'm starting to realize what gets me is usually like a semi-original premise, and not that this is even that original of a premise, but there is at least more. It's not an isekai, it's not a high school romance, so I'm down to check it out just on the visual design. And also her outfit is so stupid, and she's got Sora Kingdom Hearts ass looking shoes. They're huge.
Yeah, I want to check this out just based that it's a horror manga adaptation by Studio OLM, who's done
a lot of good stuff recently.
Not Crazy Taxi, Odd Taxi.
They did Crazy
There
Taxi.
you go.
Crazy Taxi.
Odd Taxi and Summertime Render. both of which have been great.
And
so,
Komi, and the Komi adaptation.
And the Komi adaptation. So I got a lot of trust in all of them right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, I may be willing to join you guys then.
I think at least check it out and see if they maybe can fix the pacing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's OM, which is always interesting. The director, I don't think has worked on any OM stuff before.
Yeah.
I believe this is the Tonikaku Kawaii guy that may affect Juan's decision, I guess.
Why?
But
he's also doing Magical Destroyers, which TBD
yeah,
on how that
I didn't want
to
mention that.
That turned out, but that has been kind of a downhill spiral. We'll see. Maybe he can fix it up because this is an adaptation and that was original. So we'll see.
To be fair, the direction in Mahou Shoujo was like,
yeah, it was more the writing.
All right, it was just the story / script that was kind of like
not all the way.
I'm gonna be interested to hear you guys' thoughts when you guys finish that. But.
Yeah, for real. All right, this one seems interesting. I'm giving it a solid check it out. All right, Logan. Next up, it's the first of the two.
All right, Dekiru Neko wa Kyou mo Yuutsu. And look, the first chapter of this, I thought it was pretty boring. It was
English name: the Masterful Cat is oppressed again today.
I didn't want to say that because that's a stupid title and I still don't really know what it means. The first chapter of this was pretty boring. It was like Reverse Senko-san. I was never going to like it in a million years. But look at the name in the studio section and tell me the quality of the source material is going to affect the quality of this anime at all. Like, even if you just showed me that trailer blind, I could tell it was Gohan's. They've got the eyes, the way too shiny CG, the washed out brown color palette, the perspective and tracking shots that nobody on staff is capable of. Like, it's all there.
Logan, can you give us a rundown on Studio Gohan's and your history with them?
Yeah, just all of it.
So I went and it was sort of on a dare that I gave myself. I was trying to get myself to watch more anime by myself, so I was playing a game called Anime Roulette, where I would put in 5 good shows and 1 terrible show into a randomizer and pick whichever one came out. And that got me to watch Handshakers, which Handshakers has been well covered. I'm sure there are multiple videos on why it's so terrible. But it is fascinatingly bad in a lot of ways. Like I gave it a stoned 1 out of 10. I think it is the only anime I have ever given a 1 out of 10, but I still think about it all the time. It's just fascinating in the ways that it is terrible. And Gohan's, they have a lot of they do things a certain way, and the certain way that they do things is really bad, and they just keep doing it that way. Like I said, there are lots of, and no one tells them to stop. Like I see people. I was listening to the OP for Handshakers earlier today because again, it's just caught in my brain like that. And I was scrolling down to the comments, and there were a lot of people who were like, "Yeah, I love this song. I love Handshakers." And it's like, do you really? Do you really love Handshakers?
Yes, there is a non-zero amount of people, but it's the same fucking people that got really excited for another show on this list that we're going to talk about when the trailer gets down. I think they get really easily impressed by flashy camera movement because it's doing something different that you don't see in anime. And I think they just kind of go surface level and are like, ooh, that's cool. And don't think about like what the shot is doing, how it's not really adding anything to the scene, how it's in fact being wildly distracting and creating motion sickness. This trailer for this show, for the cat one, like there are a lot of scenes in the trailer that just look more like a normal slice of life adaptation where it's 2D and they're just like talking, and I'm like, okay, sure, that looks fine. And then the Gohan stuff kicks in and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't need to, like, there's no reason to do it. I don't know.
I was really hoping this was like a redemption arc for them.
No, I thought too when I saw this one, I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna adapt a normal anime, and then I watched this trailer today, and I was like, nope, it's just as bad as the other one too. It's like
to be fair, the whole Gohan scene is only like 5-10 seconds of the trailer. The rest of the show,
I'm gonna have to see episode 1 to see how bad it is.
I'm really hoping that the like majority of the show is normally animated and not like weird staircase trippy 360.
I think this one. I think this one has a higher chance of looking more normal than the other one does, but like, God,
Yeah, of the two Gohans coming out this season, this seems the more competently
I don't know, man.
produced from the trailer, but I think
There was a scene in the
the
trailer.
less fun one to watch.
There was a scene in the trailer where it was like there was a fucking drone flying around in the office, and it was like doing loop-de-loops and shit, and all it was is like her talking to her coworkers at her desk. And I'm like, what are, like, I don't know. How much patience can we have?
720s.
We will see. I'm at least morbidly curious. I will be checking out both episode 1s of the Gohan
I feel
shows.
morally obligated to check out episode 1 just for Logan's history.
I think the premise is fine. It's very much in the same vein as
I'm only watching this because of Studio Gohans. I want to see how they do with this.
It's a little bit like Gallon Dino and like a little bit like Kobayashi. I don't know, just like office worker and fantasy being, which has been represented in some other shows. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It may not matter. The merits of the show and the story may not matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see.
Next up is a show called Eiyuu Kyoushitsu. I can't remember what the English name on that one was.
I got you. Classroom for Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this fucking I'm clearly not the target audience for this show. It's clearly got ecchi vibes. You can look at the poster. All the fucking girls got they bajongas hanging out with a wide array of body types. The premise is that it's like a school that trains future heroes. And the main character shows up and he's going to hero school, and there's a girl who's really good and they're rivals, or I don't know. It's incredibly generic looking, and it's not like particularly well animated or anything either. It looks extremely derivative and extremely boring. I'm sure there is a target audience for this, but this just looks like pretty paint by numbers, boring action anime. I don't care. It's a light novel adaptation. Surprise.
This looks like the most generic fucking harem fantasy school.
This is not the most generic show this season.
It's not? And it still looks like this?
There are two others that I would consider to be more generic.
One.
Oh, God.
It isn't ecchi, though.
Yeah. I don't give a shit, bro.
It's not even tagged as ecchi in any list. Is it on Mao?
Mao has
Dude, it
as
looks
ecchi.
so fucking generic. I do not care.
No. This is not even worth the effort, I don't think. Anyone else got thoughts on this one?
No, I got nothing but negative thoughts on this one.
Yeah, it looked pretty ass. Okay, next up.
Oh, is it Love Lifetime?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting story. I think it was like a year, maybe 2 years ago, that on April 1st, April Fool's Day, they released the Fantasy Love Life spinoff like poster. As like a gag.
Oh my god! I watched this whole trailer and didn't realize that's what this is. I'm so dumb.
We said it was Love Live multiple times, Chris.
I didn't connect. I don't know. I just didn't. If you watch the trailer, it's hard to tell. It just looks like
it's like a. So they made this whole like fantasy spin-off trailer thing. Apparently, it got super like people were like oh, this is actually, I kind of want this, and then eventually it spun off like a whole like mobile game and like TV show. And
that's a mobile game.
There's a mobile game for this specific like spin-off fantasy like Eiyuu universe thing. That's I think they're showcasing it at AX next week.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so they're like going all in on this. It's Love Live, but it's not Love Live. They still have singing, but it's like they're no longer trying to become idols or anything. It's just like girl in a fantasy world once becomes a singer, and then randomly throughout the episode they'll break out in a singing number and sing a song. And then of course all the main like cast from the Sunshine series is going to be these characters, and we'll eventually meet them I think within the next like 2-3 episodes. But it was like, it looks cute and fun, and I'm sure like Love Live fans are like eating it up because it's like a very like fresh take with very familiar characters.
I may watch this with no context. I don't know if that is worth doing if I haven't seen Sunshine. I don't know any of the characters, but it just looked like a cute, fun show. She has a big dog.
You can totally do that. It's just that knowing who they are will obviously like significantly add to the enjoyment of the show.
Yeah. All I know
because
is that the main character is the Chuny of the group.
Yeah, yes. Which is so like perfect for this.
So like having the Chuny like live in a fantasy world, like it's like Megumin in Konosuba.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I'm sure she's not like that chuny.
She's like actually normal in the show because she's a chuny in the fantasy world, which means she's a normal person.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely down to check this out. Like, I really wonder if this will be me and Chris's gateway into Love Live.
I mean, I've been meaning to get into it at some point.
So do I.
I think.
So did I.
But this is like a silly way to do it, I guess.
You
Anyway,
guys pick the weirdest shows to gateway into idol shows.
Not
So
just
there's
idol
a
show
show-
or like just weird gateways,
Nah,
like
I
fucking
said, I
Gundam.
think if I
Because-
was ever to pull the plug on Idol, I would do Idol Master first of all, and not Love
Yeah,
Live.
and
but-
one doesn't even pick the good idol master. He picks the Million Lives, not the one that the Mushoku Tensei director did, or the OG one.
Well, because
He picks the
I've
weird-
seen so much fucking hype about Million Lives or whatever it's called
From who?
from that one guy.
Oh my gosh, he's not. Correct.
Anyway, so if you're looking for either if you're a Love Live fan interested in checking out a bit that has evolved into its whole own thing, or if you just think that the premise sounds interesting, I thought this trailer looked great. I was going to recommend it as a fun little like, oh, it's an idol girl, but she wants to be a magical girl. Like I bought into the premise without realizing what it was. So there you go.
All right, next up is Helck.
Helck. All right, so I actually wound up reading quite a bit of this because it started as like a tournament arc, and I wanted to, but they were like breezing through the beginning of it, so I wanted to see how long it was going to remain a tournament arc. But the premise here essentially is that they are holding a tournament to replace the former Maou-sama, which was killed by Ayusha.
The Demon King killed by Hero.
Yes, but it's funnier when I say the Japanese words because they come up all the time. What's it called? The tournament is currently at the start of the show being dominated by a human Yusha named Helck. And I think as far as like this is really solid as far as the like overpowered guy action comedies that were all kind of born after One Punch Man took off. I think this is probably the funniest one that I've encountered. It benefits a lot from the POV character being the girl in the poster, Vermilio, I think is her name. Yeah, Vermilio. And not Helck, because there's this like constant mystery going on in the background about what's going on in Helck's head. And he seems like an affable guy, but it also seems like there's some hidden darkness to him. And why does he want to be the Demon King in the first place? And it all kind of adds to the broader mystery of the world, which I think is part of the real draw here. Like there's enough hints that I think this is going to like take a swing for dramatic. And I think it's going to succeed when it does it. I wasn't sure about this one going in. We haven't kind of wrapped up this season yet, but I'm a little bit cold on Mashal, which is vaguely similar
same.
as far as having an overpowered protagonist. But the manga for Helck sold me. This is, I think, the best manga that I've read for this season, and I heartily recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard like a lot of good things about this manga. Like it's been going on
Same.
for a while, right?
Yeah,
It's over.
Oh, it's
It's
done.
been
Yeah,
over.
it's done.
Oh,
It's been done for like a year or two.
maybe that's what I heard when I heard of the
which
name.
is really interesting that they decided now to give it an anime adaptation.
Well, they can do all of it if they want to now.
I mean, it's 111 chapters.
Oh, so they could do it like in two
that's
seasons.
not that bad. That's 2 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not going to be this one
No.
season. It finished in 2017, so it actually aired like finished 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, like-
So
It was a bit of a-
it's
yeah, it
been
was
done
one of
for a
those, like,
while.
It's one of those like
Yeah.
niche manga I
Which
always
is-
heard recommended around here and there.
Well, it's
So-
surprising that it got adapted.
People were really excited when it got announced, but I've always heard this is really funny, and so I'm glad to check it out. I'm excited to see. I thought the trailer looked fine. It's satellite. It's not like blowing me away visually or anything, but it seemed funny as the premise. Like Helck's design is really funny. He's huge and muscular, and so I think this has a lot of promise. This is definitely one of the ones I was looking forward to most checking out of the season. Yeah.
Didn't this have a really good director? Isn't that what we found out? When we were looking?
Not
Director.
really. He didn't
Hold
really
on.
do anything.
Let me see.
No.
At least stuff that you guys know of.
No,
I
yeah,
think
he hasn't directed very much actually.
Oh,
He
huh.
did
He
Badoshi
did-
Space Pirates.
And
And
Out of
he
the Beginning,
did,
like a long time ago. Yeah, not too much.
Huh.
He did
Alright.
Shigofumi, but I don't think you guys have seen that.
No.
I was looking up Studio Satellite, and I'm like, oh, well, I wonder what they've done. I scroll down. They did Nagato Yuki-chan.
Yeah, but like they did that like a million years ago. They've done other stuff too. They did Sakugan. They did Somali. They did
Rokudo,
Yeah,
There's nothing like
Hachinan.
extraordinary from this.
that's what I said. As like it's satellite, so the production's not like crazy or anything.
Non-Baka. Oh god.
I guess like Log Horizon is their call to fame.
Yeah.
That's probably their biggest show. Yeah. White Album 2 was alright.
Oh yeah, people like White Album 2 a lot. But anyway,
they did Fairy Tail.
Yeah, a long time ago.
There you go.
Anyway, like I said, it's not like the best in the world, but I think they can probably handle an adaptation like this.
The art's a little simplistic, but it's probably fine.
Yeah. Anyway, excited for that one. All right, Juan, tell us about the show you know about. This is also OLM, which is wild.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was OLM. Let's see. Higeki no Gengoku to Naru, Saikyo Gedo Last Boss, Jo Watami no Tame ni Tsukushimasu. Or the most heretical last boss queen from villainous to savior. Fucking, isn't this like the third villainous show
Like
in the past year?
It's like in the past year. It's probably...
in the past like 2 years.
In the past 2 years,
this is a very popular genre recently.
Yeah, it's been like
So it's like another like girl gets transported into her video game like dating shoujo thing, and becomes the villainess, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna do things different this time. Like, we've seen this before. No, granted, it's still OLM.
It's just trying to. I mean, this one didn't look like as good as the other OLM one looked, honestly. So maybe this is their B team working while the other one was working on the main one. Yeah, I'm not really the target audience for this show. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything that interesting. It's just a reverse harem where she's gonna like the boys are all gonna like her or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't. I am not interested by this show at all. If everyone like says it's really good, maybe I'll go back and check it out, but I kind of don't care.
It's also a light novel adaptation, so that's already minus points in my book.
Most Akuyakus, aren't they?
What did you just say?
What? Akuyakus?
What's that term? I've never heard that before.
Villainous.
Oh.
I did new term, I guess.
That's just the Japanese word for
villainous.
Villainous.
Well, I mean, I don't see Akuyaku on here. I see Saikyo. I see Last Boss. Why are we all silent? What happened?
I'm looking at the director.
Okay.
He worked on,
the director's
the
AD
he's
director
the AD
for Odd Taxi.
Oh.
So I think that's probably.
I'm sure the visuals will be nice, but I just don't know if the story
care about the story. Yeah.
Yeah, is any good at all? We'll see.
It's you don't see villainous because the title doesn't have the word villainous in it.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
That would be Y1.
Anyway,
it's like Last Boss Queen instead of villainous. But yeah, these shows are really just like kind of wacky, dumb, kind of fun shows. They're kind of just like the female versions of isekais these days. Granted, it's only 4 of them. Isekais has like 400, but give it time.
Yeah, it's a variant.
I'll probably check it out.
I think this one could. I would not be surprised if people came back and said this one was good. It's hard to get me interested in stuff like this.
I don't know about good. I think it'll be fun.
Okay. All right, Juan. We're moving into the slop section, but the first one actually is a little bit interesting. So get us started on our. By slop, I mean isekai.
And you still punish me with these. All right.
This one's the interesting one. It's the only interesting one.
Yeah, okay. Jiro hanbaki ni umare wa kawata ore wa meikyu wo samuyu. Reborn as a vending machine, now I wander the dungeon. Mark came to me begging, like, please watch the show when this comes out. The guy is reborn as a vending machine in a fantasy world, and now he wanders dungeons around on top of a little girl as a vending machine, not as a man. And he has big old anime eyes.
Yeah.
God, the anime eyes scare the shit out of me. They're so unnerving.
I'm gonna get you a plush of that.
This is such an absurd premise, and I'm just curious how they're gonna play it out. And like, this seems like a great episode 1 of an anime, right? Like I think this could be a really funny episode 1, but you do have to eventually then continue and make a story out of it, and that's where I'm the most skeptical of this being able to like sustain an entire narrative outside of the single bit. So I'll check it out, especially if Mark likes the manga that much.
I've heard that it's like super wholesome, so
novel,
like
rather.
maybe that might carry the whole show.
To be fair, I think we all had the exact same thought about the guy turned into a sword.
Yeah,
and
and
that
me and
one
Tristan
turned out-
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that turned out great. Mark and I love that one.
I could see that one being better. Like that one had a little bit more like he's a weapon, you know, they can fight and shit, and there can be a narrative around it. But
What
I
came
don't know,
first,
like
the
the
sword
fucking
isekai or the
vending
vending machine isekai?
I don't know.
We're still waiting for the onsen
This one-
isekai.
This one is clearly
Jesus
this
Christ, I
one's
forgot
clearly
about that one.
like a parody.
That
and
one's
I-
gonna be like 10 out of 10 when it comes out.
And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I feel like, are we too far away or too far gone in this genre that like basic parodies like this don't really even work anymore? I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen.
Obviously not, because they're making animes for it.
Oh, no, they're going to keep doing them. I'm just saying that like, I don't even know if satirizing this genre has any merit anymore just because it's just been so oversaturated that
You
even
say that, but then we had shows like Kage.
that's like not even really an isekai. You know,
100% is an isekai.
it is, but it like
Chuni doesn't get transported to a fantasy world.
that one is also a mix. I think shows like that are better because it's more of a hybrid mix that like
I mean, my point is that it can still be good. It can still be fresh,
I think they
you
can
know?
always be good. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it can't. I just they have to try harder, and it remains to be seen whether this does it. This is, of course, I still think this is the most interesting isekai of the bunch that are airing this season, though. So we'll see.
Did you guys finish Kage, by the way?
We never started it really.
Damn. Tragic.
Juan dropped it after episode 1. I watched episode 2 out of curiosity and then decided that I was going to return to it at some point, which I probably will. Next up is the fucking Jitsu wa Ore. That's Juan's doing this one, right?
Yeah, I keep being punished even though I did my research this time.
Tell us about this one or don't.
Where is it? There it is. Okay, Jitsu wa Ore Saikyo deshita, or Am I Actually the Strongest? Guy is reborn in a fantasy world. He was left for dead by his parents. He's actually super strong. I don't give a shit, bro.
Dude, I'm going to just jump in. This trailer made me the most upset out of everything I watched today. I wanted to give this even an ounce of credit. Like the first bit in the trailer where like he gets reborn and like he goes to his parents, which are the king and queen, and it's like meant to be set up to be like, oh, they're gonna adopt him because there's been like a million shows like that. But the king and queen are like, what the fuck? I don't want this baby. Let's throw it in the forest. That got a laugh out of me. That was the first laugh, and I was like, okay, all right. Immediately, it all goes down the drain because it's like the most basic fucking isekai like stolen idea premise. He is a extremely powerful baby that can like do all kinds of magic. He gets adopted by a big titty fucking like animal ear girl woman who I can't tell if it's supposed to be a mother figure or a love interest, but it's got the MILF, and then there's also a fucking lolly blonde little sister that shows up immediately. So it is like checking the fetish box off. It's like clearly an ecchi as well. It is just the most like derivative slop that you can get for an isekai possible. It is so fucking bad.
Fujitsu?
Jitsu wa Ore, yeah.
Wasn't this one like a 4-coma or something?
It says it's a light novel.
I didn't read it.
It was a light novel.
Which,
I guess
I mean,
that
it
tracks.
sounds like a light novel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think we should just move on. I don't give a shit about this show. I could care fucking less. Alright, what's
We
next?
can move on.
Yeah, next up, level 1 Dakedo unique skill de Saikyo Desu. Otherwise known as... where to go? My unique skill makes me OP, even at level 1. Chris, well, what do you got for us here, bud?
Yeah, this one was also stupid. It's like The only note I have is more slop for the pigs.
Dude, I also just have another isekai. Skip. Bro, can we just go? I don't give a
Hold on,
shit.
I'm trying to real quick. Is this the one that I posted the screenshot of? I can't remember. I thought there was a guy with white hair.
This one's the worst isekai of this season.
Yeah, you did post a screenshot.
This one's the flat out worst.
This is the single ugliest looking show I watched the trailer for this season. I cannot believe this made it past production. It is hideous. It is like barely animated, and everyone is off model constantly. You can even tell from the poster, it doesn't look good. Like it is bad art. We can skip this one. This looks completely irredeemable. All right, Juan, liar, tell us about it.
All right. Tim kept saying earlier, like, oh man, this show's an ecchi. Juan will probably like it. I'm like, I don't give a shit, bro. Now this catches my interest. All right.
I don't know why it looks bad, but we'll talk about it.
Liar. This looks like No Game No Life, but with even more ecchi.
Wow,
that's all I got.
So worse. Okay, you somehow have presented my critique of this show, but with enthusiasm, which is incredible. I was like, this looks like a ripoff of No Game No Life. Wow.
Like it's like, okay, so he goes to an academy and he's playing games for stars, and I guess he touches titties every once in a while.
Yeah, that's really it.
Now he must use bluffs and trickery to stay on top.
This looks like an anime for people that like shows like this, and you know the type.
It's
And
me.
I
It's
don't
me.
think it is.
It's
I don't
not?
think it is.
I haven't seen the trailer, so I actually don't know.
I think this is a little bit too juvenile, even for your taste.
Really?
Like, yeah, it doesn't look very. I don't know. I don't know. I'm definitely not watching this. This looks like the exact kind of anime that gets on my nerves. Like, it wasn't egregious or anything by the trailer, but I don't care. It's
If Tim
clearly
says
ripping off No Game No
if
Life.
this is worthy of ecchi bros, then I'll check it out. If not, then I'll skip it. I'll be fine.
I'll check it out, but it's. I mean, we're so behind in ecchi bro stuff that
We didn't watch anything this season, which
I would just
sucks.
reset.
and
but
we
that's a
need to
different
catch up from
conversation.
last season. So I don't know. I heard the comparison to No Game No Life. I've also heard comparisons to like Kakegurui. Kind of. It seems kind of like interesting this season just because it's like we have kind of like a psychological kind of gap or like edgy gap kind of thing, which is always kind of like, it's nice to have one of those. Yeah, it just looks. I don't know. It looks nice enough. I'll give it a few episodes, but
I want to give it a shot, at least an episode.
Okay, I probably
can we
won't.
finish
Y'all
the
have
other
fun.
like 3 shows we need to finish?
It's a
Yeah.
different conversation. Okay.
Logan was gonna say something earlier, but we cut him
About
off.
liar.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say that the first sentence of the synopsis sounds pretty good, and then every other sentence sounds progressively worse and worse. So
Yeah, exactly.
anyway, this
Yeah, you're
next one
next.
is mine anyway. So this is level 1 Maoto 1 room Yusha. And this thing was really ice skating uphill with me because it put the words level, Mao, and Yusha in the title. And so I crack it open, I read it through, and the first chapter did nothing. Not like nothing to overcome that prejudice. Not even really nothing worth reading. It just didn't do anything. It didn't even get to the real premise, which is that like the hero defeats the demon lord, obviously as these things go, and then the demon lord is revived about 10 years later, and the hero is just like a lazy slob who's cast out of society or whatever. And like they drag out the reveal that is in the title of the manga until the very end of chapter 1. And like I could forgive that if the jokes were good, but they weren't. So I'm just gonna tap out here.
Absolutely. Yeah, this
Also, hold on. For anyone playing along with the manga pre-read home game, this is, I think, the 5th gender bender I've had to read this year.
This is a
Because
gender
the-
bender?
Yes, because
was not
the
clear at
demon
all.
lord gets reincarnated as a girl.
Oh.
that was not made clear at all by the trailer.
It's
okay.
made very clear in the anime or in
That's
the manga.
bizarre. This show, I don't know. If it was funny, then maybe I could see checking it out, but it doesn't seem like it's very funny. And also, it's got that ecchi tag, and that is very clear in the trailer too. Kind of for no reason. I don't see why like, I mean, I know why, but you know what I mean? Like, why does this need to be an ecchi? I don't know.
This seems like a
Anyway.
really like prime Mark show for some reason.
I haven't heard him say anything about this.
It is kind of weird enough to be a Mark kind of show, but I don't think he would be into this.
I just think, again, it doesn't seem very original. There's been a lot of shows with like similar premises about like lazy people or magical creatures. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, yeah, I don't think any of the rest of us are that interested in this.
I kind of want to watch episode 1. Kind of. This is very low on my priority list, though.
Yeah. All right. Next one is Nanatsu no Maken ga Shihai Suru, which I think Tim is doing. That's the JC Staff Magic School.
Reign of the 7 Spellblades.
Yeah.
So, I know last year everyone was like, "Oh, this is like Harry Potter, the anime with Mashal." This one is actually what everyone's calling the Harry Potter one. I actually disagree with the whole like Harry Potter One Punch Man thing that we made last season, but we'll discuss that in the next episode. This one's like I said, this one's basically Harry Potter Hogwarts, except the like sword blade sorceress instead. And that's kind of enough to get me interested, just because like I really wasn't feeling the whole magical Harry Potter aspect from Mashal. It was kind of just there from like the first 2 episodes to be like, here's all the things we stole from Harry Potter. And
I think that's the bit with Mashal, is that it's a parody. It's trying to make as many references as possible. But
it only did that for the first like 1 or 2 episodes, and then it basically went away at the very end.
It's just stuck in the setting. It's like, I guess we're gonna stay here now.
So I'm really hoping this one does it better. It's JC Staff. JC Staff has been like above average kind of show. They've done like a lot of shows is a problem.
Yeah, they're high volume.
I say they're very hit or miss.
Yeah.
This was cool. This was a neat little trailer that's taking itself very seriously, so I'll give it credit for trying to do that. It is very, if you couldn't tell from everything about it and the poster, it is a very much a light novel adaptation, and you can feel that like bleeding through every single core of its being. But despite that, I think that there is at least potential, so I'm gonna check it out. I think that maybe this could be worth like watching and checking out if it like has good writing. I believe this was the one that had a little intro thing that said the light novel had won a bunch of awards. I can't remember. One of the trailers had that, so maybe the light novel's good. But yeah, I'm down to at least give it the cursory check out.
This will probably be the show, the like isekai, not isekai, that everyone watches, just because all the other isekais this season are kind of like mediocre.
Bad. This one is at least not an isekai. It's just like a normal.
Yeah, but I think it'll give off kind of
it has
the same kind of vibes and
the real vibe is light novel actually, and we should.
Which is shame shows for having that vibe.
Speaking of isekai, this one is for some fucking reason. I think that this is one of those shows that you could literally. Like the lesbian one from last year or last season you could just forget that there's an isekai element.
I don't think this is actually an isekai.
No, it is.
No, it is. He gets reincarnated. He was a pastry chef in his past life, and he got reincarnated, and now he's a pastry chef and as a little boy.
Hey, the show is called Okashi no Tensei, otherwise known as Sweet Reincarnation, Tim.
I thought, no, talking about my show, I thought.
Did we skip a show?
No, we didn't.
I thought we were on Nanatsu.
No. We've been saying that Nanatsu is not an isekai. That's what we've been saying.
Yeah.
So no.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, we're moving on.
I'm confused. What show are we talking about? I thought we were talking about Nanatsu.
No,
we're moving on to Okashi no Tensei.
We're moving on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize. Okay. No, we can move on.
So tell us a little bit about Okashi.
Okay, Okashi no Tensei. It's a chef isekai. Like Chris was saying, guy was a patissier, but when he died, now he's a little Shota boy, and now he makes food for the fantasy people. This looks cute. Like it reminds me of a Restaurant to Another World, Isekai Shokudo. That show was wholesome as fuck. So like, if it keeps that like kind of like same wholesome vibes, I'm kind of down to check it out. But like, it's very low on my priority list.
I think we're gonna have the same problem with this one that we had with the Mappa Isekai cooking show last season or 2 seasons ago or whatever, which is that like there's nothing wrong with it and it seems fine, but it's just like boring. I don't know. That's the vibe the trailer gave to me. I cannot muster up the energy to like care about this unless the cast and the writing is like particularly good, and then maybe I'll try to revisit it. I don't care, man. I don't think this is that interesting, honestly.
Tim,
Maybe
thoughts?
that's just me. Maybe I'm too pessimistic to this genre, but it's been proven right over and over again. This one visually looked okay.
Yeah.
I will give it.
I don't know why the man on the left with the big chest, he's calling my name.
He's got his titties out more than any of the women in the poster. So I mean, well, most of them are children, so that's probably good.
Does that turn you on or something, Juan?
Yeah, he likes big boobies no matter what.
Yeah.
All right.
A big chest, man or woman, I'm all about.
All right. Do you have any other thoughts on this one before we move on?
We can move on.
Yeah, I can move on. It's probably just
Okay.
be a cute show.
Yeah, it might be
Usually
good.
when the like a kid, it's usually on the more cutesy side.
God, I hope
Sometimes a
so.
little etchy, but it's usually more like
I hope it's
kind of
not.
like slice of life or something.
We'll see.
You'll be surprised how many like lolly people like throw themselves over him for some
Yeah.
goddamn reasons in isekais when they're like little kids, and it's kind of weird, but it's
It is weird. Okay, moving on. The next one's a big one. We're talking about the Rurouni Kenshin adaptation. I'm gonna do a brief disclaimer because I feel like morally obligated to do this. We are gonna talk about this one. We're gonna talk about it in the next like couple episodes too. So Rurouni Kenshin is a very famous manga by an author named Watsuki, who is a convicted pedophile and owned child porn and basically got a slap on the wrist. He's a piece of shit. Terrible human being, but this manga's been done for like 20 years now, and I'm sure he puts out new stuff. I don't know. I haven't really heard of any of his other shit. He is going to be getting royalties probably from like people watching this. I would recommend if you're watching this to pirate it instead of like streaming it or watching it officially if you're going to check it out, just because I don't think it's super like ethical, but that's just me. And once we get now that is out of the way, I still think for the record, like that none of that is represented in the story like at all. So I think it's perfectly fine to like just enjoy the story as it's on its own merits. So anyway,
Yeah,
Rurouni
I
Kenshin.
didn't know most of that, so
That's crazy
thanks for
because
the
I
heads
swear
up.
I've talked about it before. Anyway, yeah. So, despite all of that, Rurouni Kenshin is getting a Brotherhood treatment from Linden Films, which is a pretty good studio that's made a lot of really good shows recently. They did Call of the Night in the fall. I think this is a great, like aside from obviously the controversy, I think this is a great show to get. It had a pretty big anime in the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember. So it's
like
already got a pretty good anime adaptation. I don't know if that adaptation did the whole manga or not.
It did not.
Yeah. So it's very much the same Brotherhood situation. So this, much like Brotherhood and Fruits Basket, and all these other types of shows, will be a full adaptation.
I don't
of the original
know
manga.
if it's going to be a full adaptation.
I think it's just covering like the first arc or something.
Yeah, but it has the potential to. It's a reboot. It's starting over from the beginning. So this will just be the beginning of Rurouni Kenshin.
It's going to be like 6 seasons if it's going to cover all of it.
Which is fun. It's what, a 24 volume manga? How many chapters? Like 180 or something like that? I don't remember.
The original Kenshin was, I think, 96 episodes.
Oh my gosh, really?
And they didn't cover it all.
Yeah, but they also did like filler stuff.
The manga is not that long.
The manga is 28 volumes.
Oh wow, 259. It's longer than I thought. Yeah, so it would have to go pretty long if they wanted to do the whole thing.
Like I said, it is a lot.
Anyway,
I don't think they're going to cover all of it.
I hope they do because the end arc is really good. But anyway, also if you're interested, I know this is an anime podcast, but if you want more Kenshin, the live action movies are probably the single best like live action anime adaptations that exist, and those movies are adapting the whole fucking series, which is crazy.
No, they're not.
They're not?
They only went to the opium.
Okay, so they got pretty deep into it.
It's only 3 movies, Chris.
I thought there were 5. I guess I'm just wrong. I thought they kept going.
Check.
I think there were 2 released recently.
Yeah, they every single time I hear I'm like, damn, they keep making them. I knew there were 3, but then I thought there was a couple more. Anyway, regardless, this is a classic Meiji era samurai story about.
Oh wow, they did make 2 more.
I'm realizing I should summarize this show for like younger people who don't know this. It is about I don't know whether to call him disgraced. He's a wandering ronin named Kenshin. who has a bit of a mysterious past. He has a very happy-go-lucky attitude. He's actually a lot like Vash the Stampede,
Yes.
I would say. From
Yeah, I would
Dragon.
say
Baby girl? Baby girl
That's
moment?
some closest similarity. Well, this is like OG Vash, not like the new Vash.
They're both baby girl, just different.
He's got the same vibe where he's very happy-go-lucky, but has a very tragic past. I would say Kenshin's is much more tragic, and
Extremely so.
And he's got a bit more of a depressed, serious side that comes out a lot more often. But
I think his derpy side's a lot more derpy too.
yeah, it's a very classic manga, and I'm very excited to see it. It's always been a long time favorite of mine.
I've never seen the original Rurouni Kenshin or read it. I remember seeing it in the library at school all the time, and like I remember like everyone like being really into it too, but like I just never got into it. And so like now that this Brotherhood reboot is coming out, I'm excited to see it. And now that you guys are describing Kenshin as this like Vash baby girl type character, I'm way more excited for it now.
He's not quite as you'll
he's
see
not
the
baby
vibe.
girl. He's just like 90% of the screen time he's derpy, and 10% he's just like
Very
super
serious,
hardcore kind of.
But
character.
like original Trigun Vash.
A little bit more.
Which by the way, he's still very baby girl. It's just like a different vibe of baby girl. There's
you can watch the first couple episodes and give us a
baby girls
check-in.
out here, okay?
Give us the check-in to see if he meets the vibe. Anyway, from all the trailers we've seen so far, I think this is getting a really like well done, well animated adaptation, which is good. I would expect nothing less from adapting like a famous manga like this. So
Kenshin is like top first 5 anime I've watched.
Wow, really?
It was one of the first manga I ever read back in the day when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I was
I
like in
think
the
Kenshin
6th grade or something.
I think Kenshin was literally the first manga I ever read to completion.
Wow.
I think I had finished Fruits Basket first, but it was same with one of my early.
Fruits Basket was
early
one of the first
ones.
I've ever finished, and then like second was Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So,
foundational and great cast. Love the cast of this show.
Oh yeah, aces.
All right. Anyway, we're clearly excited for this. We can move on.
Because we're the target audience. We're the millennials.
Yeah, we're boomers. All right. Tell us about the Atelier adaptation. I literally didn't know was happening until today.
Neither did I. I don't know why I'm being assigned this. I have not played the game. So
Tim, have you played these games at all? Do you know anything?
I haven't
about
played
them?
Wiser.
Do you know
I
what
played like
are
5
they?
minutes of Atelier Toturi. Does that count?
What is the genre?
That's close enough.
They're kind of. I think that they're similar to like the Tales of games in terms of
Okay.
gameplay. They're like kind of action-y RPGs, but not like action RPG like the new Final Fantasy. They're like much
motherfucker.
slower
The
like
Tales of series is 100 is like the face of action RPGs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but it's not the same thing.
Yes, I was just saying that it's not how I think of action RPGs, which is like Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy or the new Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's like it's got more of a focus, at least from the one I've played, on like items, and because you're what's it called? You're running an atelier, so you craft items to help you in combat and things like that. I have no idea how any of that is going to translate onto the screen. Again, I only played 10 minutes of this game or whatever, but
not even this game, right? Like a different one.
Not even this, a different
Toturi,
game in the
which is,
same
like,
series.
5 games ago.
This is a very long series with a lot of entries that I think this is adapting like one game.
So they go in trilogies, and every trilogy is kind of related to each other, and then it's a completely different universe and character.
Didn't this trilogy just finish the Atelier or the Riza one?
I think they're on the second one.
Could have sworn they just released the third one.
Anyway, clearly none of us have that much experience. My only note from watching this trailer is that the camera is fucking obsessed with shots of her in the little booty shorts, and the booty shorts are like gripping her thigh meat.
Yeah, they know what
That is
people
the
want.
whole point of Riza.
And I was gonna say, I was like, all right, look, based, but like clearly you know what you're going for. Yeah, they know what they're doing. So if you're into anime girl thighs or like this game or both, then I guess go for it. I've never played these.
At least it can't be worse than the last Atelier anime, because that one was a disaster.
I don't know how we have any way of knowing. I guess it's Liden Films too, so maybe it'll be better. All right,
wow, two Liden film shows back to back. Crazy.
Next up is, am I doing this? This is Oh no, this is the one I sent the screenshot of in the chat.
Oh.
So this one is also extremely
That's really funny
ugly.
that we confused two different isekai for the same show.
This is a Seiza Muso salaryman isekai de Ikino Kuro Tame ni Ayumi Michi, and it's another salaryman.
It is shortened to just the Great Cleric.
Oh yeah, he's becoming a cleric. Yeah, this was a fucking slideshow. This trailer was ugly. Really, really, really bad. That's why I posted the screenshot. Absolutely no redeeming qualities about this. I cannot believe this got adapted. Etc. Etc. Bottom of the barrel isekai. I'm sure you can do better.
In my notes, I just wrote, "I'm just skimming at this point. I don't care."
Anyone else? Or can we move on?
Cool. Let's
All
go.
right. Okay, the next one's
All
interesting.
Okay, so this one is Shiro Seijo to Kuro Bokushi.
Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence.
Look, every season there's a comedy that just fails to make me laugh,
Oh,
and for this
no.
season, it's this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
complete whiff. For one
It's a
thing, the
romance,
first
for the
few
record.
pages tricked me into thinking it's a comedy. For one thing, it tricked me into thinking it wasn't a 4 for the first few pages, which is a capital sin. I read it anyways because Bocchi has recently convinced me to be less racist against 4
Less racist.
And that was a mistake because again, this was just tremendously boring. I hesitate to call them like it's not a romance because there's nothing like really romantic happening, and it's not a comedy because there's nothing funny happening, but I can at least tell that it's supposed to be funny stuff that's happening, which is why I'm so adamant that this is a comedy. Although honestly, a romance that isn't romantic and a comedy that isn't funny is just a rom-com. So
I hate Logan so much.
Anyway, normal person time. The trailer is very much framing this as a romance, so I'm approaching it that way. This is wild because I've never seen anime try to tackle Catholicism, and I think I am a little interested just to see how that's going to be handled because it's about a monastery and I don't know if it's a monastery. It's like there's a church and he's a priest. The main guy's a priest and she's a saint. She like recently got declared as a saint. And then so she has like saintly duties at the church or whatever.
Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, ha, ha, ha. That's the premise. But it seems to be like this, like they're in medieval Europe, but everyone has anime hair. Like, so it's a weird visual mishmash, but it is at least interesting. And it's Dogakoba, so it was very pretty to look at. I'm at least going to check this out just because, again, out of morbid curiosity about how Catholicism, like how much is going to be spent, praying to Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior in anime.
I can tell you how much there was in chapter 1.
Is it none?
It was none. It was check 0. I didn't realize from the first chapter that this was supposed to be fantasy Europe. I just assumed that it was supposed to be like generic fantasy. Like it is one truck away from someone getting used to guide. They use the like. I don't think Catholics have living saints, but regardless,
I don't know, man. It's a church. He's got a cross on his thing. It was obviously Christianity in the trailer, at least it looked like to me. I'm interested. I'm just gonna put it there.
Sometimes I feel like Logan should read more than one chapter.
No, not for this one.
I don't think expecting him to read a romance like this is like
it didn't deserve it.
My mom has always told me like, hey, I should stop watching anime and go to church. Now I can do both. I'm like, see, mom, there is Jesus in anime.
Trad wife anime of the year. Anyway,
this looks cute. This looks wholesome.
It looks cute. No, it looks cute. The trailer is cute.
Like,
I'm down to check it out.
I'm so down for a cute, wholesome rom-com about nuns and pastors. Like, it just sounds cute to me.
Well, she's a saint, but that was the other thing.
I mean, the other girls, like, I'm sure is a nun.
Nuns aren't allowed to fuck. Are saints allowed to fuck? I don't know.
Oh, anyway, in Fire Emblem they are.
True. Which is just like real life.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Logan.
Yes.
Round 2, baby.
Suki nako ga megane wo wasareta. So this
the
is
girl I like forgot her glasses.
Yeah, so this is about a girl who like wears glasses and sometimes doesn't wear glasses, and she can't see very well without her glasses, just like Chris.
I
And
hate you.
so
Die.
this is in practice, this is like a rom-com kind of in the vein of a harem from like a season or two ago, where the girl has like no sense of personal space and the guy gets all flustered about it. And I didn't like that one, and I don't like this one, but this one was like a bit funnier due to the premise. Like the main character, there's a scene where the main character like tries to casually remove a frog from her foot locker because she can't tell. She's like, oh, I guess my shoes are green, because she like really cannot see. And that was kind of funny, but like nothing else really was. The good news is that this has pretty solid art design. The main character has like naturally angular frame that aids that whole embarrassed freak out comedy thing that they're doing. And the artist does a good job of making the main character girl's eyes about as pretty as the narration described it. The brief color pages actually look really, really gorgeous, like with a color palette that I would describe as ice cream-ish, and hope that that makes sense to anybody but me. Now, all of that obviously won't carry over into the anime, and I haven't checked the studio on this one yet, but I'm sure the adaptation is in good hands. Sorry, good hands. Excuse me.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Go do stand up. Getting walked into
girl,
that one.
Try the veal.
Yeah, this trailer went viral when it came out.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
I did not hear about this.
I posted it in our whatever. We talked about this already.
It's the staircase scene.
So
It's the what?
So this one, unlike the cat
scene.
one, this trailer is Gohan's going as hands as possible. The camera does things that no camera should ever do, and a bunch of anime fans that I assume are the same ones that like watch the anime OP sped up to 60 frames per second and have no without the credits. I assume it's the same group of people that like just open their mouths and point at the screen, clapping like a monkey. I don't know, man. It's so fucking ugly, which sucks because I like Logan said, I've seen screenshots from this manga and I've heard this manga's cute and like pretty good. So I just like, is this perhaps the first Gohan's like adaptational reduction in quality? I don't know. I'm gonna check it out just for the fucking spectacle of it all, but I have incredibly low expectations. This trailer looks so bad. Like I hated the trailer.
Okay, so other than the staircase, I think the rest of the trailer was fine.
I don't know. They zoomed around the
it was-
classroom a bunch too. It was, I don't know, man. This
is one of the highest rated manga this season.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
like as long as Gohan doesn't like Gohan it too much, I think it will actually be like a pretty good show. They just
As long as the scorpion doesn't stab me in the back, we'll make it across the river just fine.
fun fact, this director is doing both of these shows this season.
Yes,
Man.
I was gonna bring that up.
Absolutely
Same
bonkers.
director, same executive director.
See, he
or whatever
didn't do
it is.
Handshakers at least, so maybe there's
Mhm,
that.
Yes,
I'll-
maybe he's good now.
Did he do K Project?
Yes, he did. He did the original K
See, K
Project.
Project wasn't that bad.
Yeah, K's there one of the only good ones. He also did DS Ire, which I didn't realize. That's not Gohan's, is it? No.
No,
God,
it
that
is
was
not.
the weird Nazi anime that everyone said was really bad. So anyway, remains to be seen. I'm very interested to see what this one's actually going to look like in practice.
regardless of the Gohan's adaptation, this sounds cute, and I want to check it out based on that. No, but I now want to doubly check it because it's Gohan's. I'm like, how the fuck are they gonna fuck this up? Let's see it.
I think we should thank Gohan's for adapting this because it's the only way we would get Logan to watch a show like this.
True.
Otherwise, never,
Yes.
ever in a million years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we're all tentatively excited for this one for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, am I doing? Yeah, I am. Okay. I will say once I'm done describing this one, Tim, tell me if you know anything about it because I really don't. This one is called Sin Duality Noir. I don't know if it is a mobile game adaptation, but it is a game adaptation.
It says mixed media.
Okay, I'm gonna say mobile game then. It is a Gundam show, kind of. A future sci-fi robot fighting. I thought that the trailer was fine. It looked fine. The visuals are all right. It was hard for me to muster up too much enthusiasm because like mobile game adaptation. But like the this one, what was it? If there's like the writer or something, the guy who's writing the story, right, for the anime, based on the game, is the creator of Bunny Girl Senpai,
What?
who's like quite a good writer. He also wrote Iron Blood Orphans, the original, like the Gundam, back in the day too. So it's like clearly he's got some writing chops, right? Like, I don't know. It's tough to say. So I'm gonna kind of tentatively wait on this one and see if people say it is good, and it's not just like a game, fucking like adaptation trying to collect all of my gacha characters. I don't know if Tim has heard anything about this one at all.
So this is not a mobile game adaptation. This is a PlayStation 5.
Oh, interesting.
Bandai. It hasn't come out yet, so we don't know anything about the game or about the anime.
So this is okay. Interesting.
That being said, even like video games, like proper video game adaptations.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are usually
the best
usually
received.
bad. Yeah.
I'm looking at like Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
That's the one I was thinking of, Scarlet Nexus.
What's that gun? The Monster Hunter ripoff one.
Monster Hunter ripoff.
I know what you're talking about. I cannot remember it, but yeah, there's not usually a lot of good ones.
Yeah, usually you don't have the best track record, so like even then, it's not like we're not in the clear yet. But like I said, it is the Buniga Senpai writer and the director of Suzume. So they got interesting stuff behind them.
Yeah, like I said, might be worth it. I'm gonna be
give it a try. There's a lot of things going for it, and a lot of things going against it between the staff and then the whole video game and mecha. Not the mecha also doesn't usually do super well these days. So
yeah.
So it could go either way. We'll have to see.
I'll wait.
8-Bit's done some good stuff too. Like that 8-Bit's a pretty good studio.
It is Disney locked, I believe.
Oh, is it
which
really?
isn't gonna help its case.
Fascinating. It's always
Disney.
so weird what shows end up in the Disney jail. Okay. Let's move on. All right, tell us about Temple.
right.
Or no, Logan, sorry.
No,
Logan,
it's
my
Logan.
bad.
Yeah,
Logan didn't
I
know.
had to read this. So this is a fair. It feels like a fairly generic harem show. What's it called? The one joke that actually sold me is kind of the joke, or didn't sell me, but the one that made me laugh was kind of the premise. Basically, the main character guy comes from a long line of historic perverts. And he is trying to break the cycle. He's trying to be a good, wholesome boy. And then he encounters like one girl on the street who's cute enough that it completely ruins him and like nearly destroys his life. Because he is genetically predisposed to be a pervert, and that just broke him entirely. And that was actually kind of funny. But then the not funny parts started happening. So he goes to be a monk in like an all guys monk, but oops, he accidentally joins a nunnery, and there's a bunch of girls, and it looks like a very boring harem show is about to follow up. And like this one didn't hurt bad until I looked up the author. I mean, I've never read Amagi Brilliant Park, but this is well below the standard set by Grand Blue.
Amagi's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, this is well below the standard set by Grand Blue, which was an all-time debaucherous comedy. That was really good, and this is not that at all. Multiple trip onto boobs, big dumb misunderstanding that would have been resolved if anyone involved had used their words. A plot that has no reason to continue past chapter 2, so they just kind of make something up. Anyway, this was really not that good, and I can't recommend it even to the Ecchi Squad, even though I know that they are not going to listen to me.
No, this trailer looked awful. It seems so generic. It's like such a fucking like cashed in like zero effort premise. I do not even know how someone who is otherwise I think very creatively funny would like lower themselves to write something like this, but boobs, I guess.
I think the phrase genetically disposed to be a pervert is one of the most funniest phrases Logan has ever said.
I think it's a stupid
it's
premise,
funny,
honestly, but I don't know, maybe the execution's better.
I do think this sounds like the perfect Ecchi Bros show because it's a dumb harem with a guy.
We gotta finish Cafe first.
Yeah, I was about to say that. This sounds exactly like
making you
Megami
do
no
this.
Cafe Terrace, except about Shrine Miko instead of maids.
Also,
It sounds worse because Cafe was actually surprisingly.
just a quick correction for the record. Amagi Brilliant is a novel, and there was a manga adaptation of the light novel.
Oh, I see.
So he did not. He made the manga version of the anime, but he did make Grand Blue. Grand Blue is his. So
By Amagi Brilliant, we mean Amagi Brilliant Park, right?
there are no others. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
So, plot aside, I think one of the main things the manga had going for it was like the art style, because the guy can draw.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
nicely, and I think the anime kind of like butchered it.
Yeah, it's not very pretty.
Everything pretty about it went to like super generic, and I'm a little disappointed. But
Rip.
Maybe I'll go read the manga of this. Who knows?
There you go. Anyway, I think you can do better for harem comedy. Next up, was this a manga too? Yes, it was.
Yes.
Is this sourced to
Oh, this is a
Genji?
dojin. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, and that was interesting. It's a dojin, and it's so cool to see independently published mangaka able to take their work from the mean streets of Twitter all the way to the small screen. And oh, sweet mercy, it's a 4-page per chapter Kohai teasing off his workplace rom-com that repeats the same chapter over and over and over again.
Sorry.
Yeah. Look, it seems like there's one of these every season now where there's just an office workplace that repeats the same chapter and it's not good. And this one especially had some issues staying on model, like with the drawings and the character designs. And it's, I don't know. I guess if you're like the male lead and you think that the female lead is cute and also that those are the only words that you can say, this will probably appeal to you just fine. But everyone else, this was real not good.
I would need them. I would need there to be significant progression in their relationship. That is the only way I would watch this show. Like, I need them to be like holding hands and dating by episode 2 and like having sex episode 4.
That's never happening, Chris.
I know. And so I probably won't watch this show because it's very, very clear that the woman is into him. Like, very clear. And it's got kind of a horny, like respectfully horny teasing vibe, like in a more adult way than a lot of, I think, anime tends to be, which is extremely juvenile. So I think you could lean into that and make a kind of fun, like sexy rom-com thing going on. But I do not expect that out of this show, especially after Logan described it.
Yes.
My only notes for this show is, oh, hey, it's My Senpai is Annoying, but role reversed.
Yeah, and she's like stacked and not like flat as a board or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not butt muscular. So yeah, I guess in a way.
And it's probably not going to have a really, really good OP.
No.
This is surprisingly one of the best OPs of the year. But not
You're
this
calling
one.
it now.
No, I'm saying it's
okay.
not. It's
You're
not
saying-
gonna have it. Like My Senpai is Annoying.
True.
God, what a good OP.
Anyway, anyone else got thoughts on this one?
I'm fine skipping this show.
Maybe it'll be cute. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's good. I'm just happy that dojins like this can like have a path.
Well, I
to
mean,
getting an anime
it's not the
adaptation.
first like dojin. Like
No, but it's cool to see.
like fucking
Tawawa.
yeah, Tawawa and that other
what's the
Dookie?
the
Doki?
office lady? Doki-chan.
Doki-chan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean it sincerely when I
Yeah.
said it's cool
No,
to
it's
see a
cool.
dojin get this far. It's just I
Alright,
wish that it was a
alright.
good dojin.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, fucking get all this rest of this garbage off the table that we've been talking about so far. We're getting the last couple of these that we have. I don't know why everything Heat, that's not a sequel, is at the very end of the chart. But the Heat begins now. So, Undead Girl Murder Farce, which is the best title of any anime this year so far, is fucking cool. I'm so I was waiting with bated breath to get a fucking show that like is cool at all, and we finally found one. This is a 19th century Victorian, like steampunk-esque show filled with paranormal creatures that, like all the classics, like vampire, golems, werewolves. I think Frankenstein showed up.
Are you
and
singing the bars of Monster by?
Yeah, I know. Goblin, no conscious, Sasquatch. Anyway, the main character is a disembodied head of a woman and her
Nice.
like butler friend guy who is a demon killer or something. And they go, and she is the premier detective in Europe. And so she is solving supernatural mysteries while she looks for her lost body, which is kind of like a reverse Celti from Durara. So she is going to go and solve mysteries based on all these wacky monsters in a Victorian European setting. This show had tons of visual flair, like easily, I would say the second most of any show this season. The first we're going to get to in a second. It's very much my shit in a lot of ways, but instant. I think this is the show I'm looking forward to the most of the non-sequels. And then if none of those words meant anything, the director is an A1 director. He's the main director of Kaguya. Does that help?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and Rakugo Shinju. Those are
so really is the Chris show.
I mean, he's just a very talented creator, so I'm super down.
It also
for
says
this.
that the source is a novel, so it's
a
like
book.
not a light novel. There's actual words and thoughts put behind these words.
Exactly.
This looks really cool.
Really cool.
Wow, me and Logan just said the exact same thing at the exact same time. Give me a kiss.
I'm getting some hold on.
Oh.
No, y'all talk about what some of you think about that, about it first while you look.
I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Like vampire murder mystery, down to check this out.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to this at all because usually stuff that's at the bottom I just kind of stop paying attention to. But this trailer looks really nice as I'm watching through it. I like the character designs. I like that everybody's wearing a little bit of face paint or makeup. It's neat.
Oh,
yeah, and this seems like I mean, from the title, I was like, oh, this could be really, really bad, but this seems like it's not going to be that.
Actually, there is a manga, and I think it's probably impossible to find here. But it was a novel in 2015. There was a manga adaptation that ran from 2016 to 2018. So it's done, and then there's this anime now. So
neat.
So Logan should have read it.
I don't think. I'm just saying. I don't know if you would be able to find it. Yeah.
I only read stuff that was originally a manga.
Sure.
Anyway, anyone
saves
else?
me from a lot of light novels every year.
Yeah.
Tim, are you interested in this one?
Yeah, definitely interested. Stuff aside, the whole premise is just sounds really cool and unique, and really just captivated me from the honestly from the visual. So definitely gonna check it out.
There was a really good song playing in the trailer too. I hope it's the OP. I'm excited.
The
for
OP
that.
and ED I think already got released.
Yeah. So
if you want to go give it a
cursory check out. Okay.
Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul,
crazy.
a zombie with no conscience. Okay, we can go on.
The next one up, I think I'm doing as well, which is Watashi no Shiawase na Kekkon, which is
My Happy Marriage.
Yeah, it is a historical drama. I don't know quite what this era is. I'm going to guess, I couldn't tell from the thing. I'm going to guess early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. It is a historical fiction drama romance by Kinema Citrus, great studio, obviously, about a noble woman getting married off to a soldier who has a track record of scaring girls off. It's like an arranged marriage that she doesn't really want to do, but I think it's a slow burn about her opening up to him and them learning how to navigate their new marriage set in this backdrop of older historical Japan. I think I'm down for a more grounded adult historical piece like this, so I'm probably gonna at least check it out, especially if it's got the Kinema Citrus backing. I think it looked pretty, so that was nice.
Yeah, this looks and sounds like a very serious romance show. I'm down to check this out. This will probably be a me and Chris show, though there's a chance it might be too shoujo for me. So
it's definitely way more josei than shoujo.
Josei, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah,
and I don't think I've seen that many josei romance shows. I can't even really think of any.
They don't always get good adaptations, but they're there. They're around.
Yeah. So I'm definitely down to check this out though.
How about Tim?
me,
It seems up Tim's
me,
alley.
Yeah, me and Chris will cuddle on the couch and
Oh, yeah,
I'm watching for sure. I really like these more serious romance kind of shows.
I like the time period. I think it could be interesting. It might be, like I said, it might be a little too slow, but I am definitely interested.
What
in
was that
checking it out.
one time period romance show that we watched, Tim?
Taisho Otome.
That's the one. That one's good. That one's very wholesome. So
It was wholesome. They were kind of kids, so
Yeah.
the romance didn't really kick off as much. But seeing how these people are adults,
Like adults,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll get some nice romance happening. The main thing about this one is that it's going to be a Netflix.
Oh, it's
jail
Netflix
one
jail.
again.
Damn, that's okay.
I think it's going to be simul release though,
perfect.
like
Interesting.
Finland.
that's cool.
But the fact that it's going to be Netflix,
Netflix has been a lot better about doing
as much.
simulcast in the past couple of years. Okay, next up, I think this one was the one that won me award for most generic anime.
You said nothing but heat, Chris, at the end.
Look, I can't say all of them in a row. I think the two we just talked about look good. Yume Miru Danshi wa Genjitsu Hugishisha or Hugisha. What is the
Genjitsu
English name?
Shiga. The Dreaming Boy is a realist.
Okay, the premise for this one: the boy has a crush on the girl, and she's very pretty. But then he's like, I don't think she likes me. I'm not good enough for her. And then starts like backing off and not talking to her as much. And then the girl is like, why doesn't he talk to me that much? That is the premise.
Oh, man.
And the trailer looks exactly like I just described. It looks like an incredibly generic, like uninspiring art, fucking like basic ass, no one talks to each other rom-com, and I could not give less of a shit.
And
Like, I am always amazed. Again, classic, I could write better light novels than this. Japan, hire me.
It's a light novel.
Yeah, it's a light novel.
Damn.
and it's being made by Studio Gokumi.
Yeah, and imagine
A third
There's
show.
also and also Axis, who's making the vending machine anime too.
Oh, they are? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, Gokumi's making Hoshikuzu Telepath, which actually I'm quite excited for. So maybe I hope that's good. I don't think any of y'all know it. That's a new show that's coming out.
Yeah,
in like
it's the
fall.
Yuri in the sky.
Yeah.
looking
Of
visual
course,
thing.
Really
Chris would
cool
know about the
trailer.
Yuri.
I just keep up with releasing stuff.
I know about all the Yuris. Come on.
Anyway.
No, Chris.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, but I know all the Yuris.
That's true.
Yeah, me and Tim both. Anyway,
even you and Klaus.
I see no reason. Just literally, like the art style kind of reminds me of Tomazaki-kun, the gamer one, and that show's better than this, guaranteed.
Because that one has Smash in it.
Yeah, it's also just like even despite the smash, it is still a pretty decently compelling teen rom-coms or like rom-dram or whatever. Anyway, Logan.
I think it fell apart a bit.
Well, we're getting a season 2, so it's not done yet. Logan, take us
All right.
off.
Last one.
So Zom 100, Zombie ni naru made nishitai 100 no koto. This
Bucket
was
list of the
surprise
dead.
Yes, this was the surprise of the season. This was actually pretty good. So the core punchline of this manga is that the main character used to work for a black company before the zombie apocalypse. So he views the end of the world as a step up, and he tries to spend it doing all the things he couldn't do when he was alive and working. So, both zombie and black company are like kind of dirty words to me. Though
Black company meaning...
Black company
Like
meaning like a
overworking
really
Japan.
overworking. You work there for 12 hours a day if you're lucky, and you never get breaks, and you don't get lunch, and that kind of thing.
It's
Haven't
the
heard
nickname
that.
for a corporation that
Have
treats
you never
their
heard of
workers.
this
I've never
before,
heard
Juan?
that term before, no.
Yes, you have. You watched
That's
what's it
insane
called?
if you
It's come up. I don't know if you've got it
There,
by name.
there are like 7 anime
Haruka
made
Saibo
every
Black
season.
is
Well, I mean,
about
like,
a guy working at a black
I mean,
company.
like,
Sank-
I understand the
Sank-
concept. I
Sank-
just never heard the term itself, black company.
That's
Mhm.
crazy because I've definitely
That's
heard it in
absolutely
anime
insane.
before.
No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely come up in anime before, but like just not the term itself somehow.
No, the term has. I just don't know if it was stuff you watched or maybe you missed it. But anyway.
Probably missed it.
So yeah, zombies
Culture
are
lesson.
kind of overplayed. Black companies are like they're all over this season. It's you know,
There's several
it's a little-
in this one.
but this is actually pretty funny, and it has pretty expressive art too. And there's actually a solid emotional moment at the end of chapter 2, and it left me wanting to read the rest of it. like, I'm not going to say that this is guaranteed smash, but as far as like the stuff I read, this is, I think, just behind Helck as the best manga I read this pre-read. I'm going to give this a like hearty, full-throated recommendation.
Okay.
I've heard about this a manga from Giguk. I remember he made a video about it, and like he does like a couple manga videos here and there. So like I've been wanting to check this out since then. So excited to watch this anime adaptation.
I have great news.
Oh boy.
Which is that this is easily the best like not even close, easy the best trailer of this season, and the show I'm probably looking forward to the most.
Oh, it's a new studio.
This is the one that had a good director, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
So this was made off of OOM. It's OOM staff broke off and made a new studio
new
just
studio.
for the show.
Oh,
And this is the team behind Summertime Render, I believe.
Hey, now
they
you
did
got me
Komi.
more.
They did the Komi adaptations. I don't know if they didn't do Summertime Render. The director did the Komi adaptations though.
Or was it the Art Taxi? I forgot which one. It was one of the big shows. They all like split off of that. Let me check. I don't have the
writer. No, he's the writer's from Mappa. No, the
Check
writer worked on Summertime. So it's a mix, but the director's the guy who did Komi, which again, regardless of what you feel about the Komi like manga, the adaptation is fucking phenomenal. It's like visually flawless.
So it's the script from Summertime,
Yeah.
the director from Komi, and the
This trailer, and God, I wish fucking anime do this more often. Cyberpunk was a great example. This trailer had so much color in it. It's like, God, why don't shows utilize that more? You know what I mean? Like, it also, I would say, is pretty close to film quality. Like, it is incredibly well animated. Like, I don't know. They are clearly trying their whole ass hearts out for this one, which means they like the manga. And I tend to like anime adaptations where they clearly like the manga. So
it helps that the manga itself is also very colorful and vibrant.
Yeah.
So it was very easy for them to translate that over.
I think this is a great premise, and it's really cool that people are like trying hard to animate it. So I'm super pumped. This is like probably my favorite or my most anticipated new show of the season.
Oh shit, that's the thing we do, huh? Fuck.
We'll do that in a second.
I didn't write any of that down, so I should do. I'll do it.
We're gonna have to go raw.
Yeah.
That is it. That does it for all the shows. We actually have a pretty good batch. I was a little pessimistic about this because I remembered there being a lot of sequels and not a lot of interesting new shows, but I found a couple. So I'm excited. All right, Juan, do you need us to give you more time, or do you think you can get there?
Do I count sequels or no?
I would say up front, just say the sequels you're gonna watch, and then do your top 3 of the new ones.
Okay, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. I've already said that I'm gonna call it anime of the year. Let's see what else we got here. Mushoku Tensei season 2. That's gonna be great. I'm hate watching Run to Girlfriend season 3. As for
And
new
Link
fuck Link Click season 2. Shit.
Yeah.
That is also potentially, who knows.
Anime of the year. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. But as for new shows, Zom 100, we're hyping the shit out of that. Helck and Undead Girl Murder Farce, which I'm sure might be the top 3 of everyone else in this group.
Well, yeah,
here.
we might be a little.
Oh, wait. Instead of Undead Girl Murder Farce, I'll put in Saint Cecilia and the Pastor Lawrence.
Cool. All right, more variety. I'm just watching JJK and Link Click. I don't know. And Horimiya Piece. We're watching that too.
Oh, there's a Rurouni Kenshin reboot too. We also talked about that. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually start with that one. I would say Rurouni Kenshin is definitely in my top 3. I'm very interested in seeing how they're gonna adapt this. What else? Since I shilled it so hard, I'll go ahead and do Undead Girl Murder Farce just because that was like the one that I was the most interested in. And yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say Zombie. Zom 101 or 100 as well. I think that one was too cool for me not to say it.
All right. So for sequels, I'm only watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but starting from the top, the one I'm most excited for is Helck. The one I'm the second most excited for is Rurouni Kenshin. Sorry, I actually put those in opposite order now that I'm thinking about it. Kenshin, then Helck, and then coming in at number 3, I have to. It's the Glasses Girl show. I cannot wait to
Wow, a romance show on Logan's top 3.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
We
We
never
should
thought
have
we'd see the day.
The only time it's ever gonna happen. All right, Tim, take us on.
All right, sequel wise, I think it's Mushoku for sure, and then probably Bleach. For originals, number one's gonna be Zom, then Kenshin, and then Undead Unluck. Undead. There we go. Top three.
Yeah, I was gonna say Undead Unluck. That's not a show that's coming out for another
That's a
while.
different show.
Different show. All right, cool. Definitely some consensus there, but I think there's a lot in the overall list for you to check out. Next up on our docket is going to be a review of the spring season. That should be in a week or two down the line after this gets released, I think, for y'all. And then after that, we'll come back with our thoughts on this one. We'll probably do a mid-season check-in, so maybe like halfway into the season, and see how we all are feeling about the summer shows.
And if you're asking where the mid-season is for the spring,
you don't even have to talk about it.
Don't worry about
it's
it.
Fine.
Don't worry about it.
I had a good excuse. I got married and was really busy. So we're back on track. We're going to try to get back to more regular releases with the regular cadence we have. But yeah, I am actually pretty excited for the spring or for the summer season. This has some cool stuff in it.
Yeah, summer's looking good. Like probably not as heat-filled as spring.
Yeah,
but
spring was crazy.
Still pretty good.
And it's always nice to have a break. I feel like we're still going to end up watching 8 shows.
We're going to get 10 shows minimum in this season.
All right. That about does it for the rest of us. Have a great rest of your night, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Later.